Hey friends, Gregg Braden here. I want to welcome you to this broadcast, this live broadcast. I thought I was going to have people joining me today, and then they let me know I'm with you all by myself. I get you all to myself. This is a big week. Today's a big day. I have been sharing with you that there's a new book has become available. It was released on the 28th. I happen to have my very first copy of my brand new book. It's called Pure Human. And I want to talk to you about this book just for a minute because Hay House, our publisher, has made possible something that I have never done before. You know, I have been with Hay House since the year 2004, and this is 2025. So it's over 20 years now, and they have never done what they're doing with this book. The book is available now on Amazon for purchase, and they are allowing me to do a special broadcast, a live webinar from 12 until 5 p.m., I believe Pacific Standard Time, February 4th, so that I can go into a lot more detail and share some experiences about the book. So I just want to say that right up front. Hay House, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. This book, I am so excited about this book, Pure Human, The Hidden Truth of Our Divinity, Power, Destiny. This book is a celebration of our humanness, and it is coming in a time when we are being coerced, we are being indoctrinated, we are in some cases being mandated to give our humanness away to technology. That's no surprise. You all are seeing that in some respects. We're hearing about AI, artificial intelligence, coming into our lives. The proposals are to bring it into our bodies, bring computer chips into the brain, bring chemicals into the blood, RFID chips under the skin, nanosensors roaming throughout our bodies, and much more. There's a concerted effort to replace our biology with technology, and you're going to see this effort, the momentum increase, especially over the next 5 years between now and the year 2030, because those efforts are part of a greater effort to remake the world and to remake our bodies to fit a vision that is very, very different from the way you and I live today. And that's why I wrote this book. I am advocating for our humanness. We are only beginning to understand the full extent of what it means to be human. We're only beginning to understand the capacity that was given to us with these bodies when we mysteriously appeared over 200,000 years ago. You know, the truth is, scientists still do not know with absolute certainty where we came from. They've got theories, and we've all heard of some of those theories. The problem is the evidence is lacking. There is no evidence to support the theories to the degree that we can say with certainty where we have come from. What scientists do know is that 200,000 years ago, and they agree on that date, there were a series of genetic shifts, mutations that allow us to be the extraordinary beings that we are today. There were chromosomes that were fused together, such as human chromosome number 2, giving us a neocortex and the ability for empathy, sympathy, love, compassion, forgiveness, imagination, creativity, all of the things that we cherish as our species. That's possible because of human chromosome number 2 and the fusion. Human chromosome number 7. There was a little tweak in the genes of chromosome 7 that connected our tongue and our brain and our jaw in just the right way so that we can have complex speech and that we can sing in a way that no other form of life can sing and communicate. And there are other mutations as well. We don't know where they came from. We know they are not possible through natural processes. And scientists are pretty much in agreement that these are not natural mutations. They did not happen slowly, gradually over a long period of time. They happened quickly. And I've written other books about that. The point is that they have given us capabilities that we stand to lose if we relinquish our biology to technology, if we replace our natural biology with the technology. You know, it's fascinating to me because I'm out there with you all. I'm seeing what you're seeing. We're seeing the advertisements, the marketing. Oh man, I know what's going on, and I'm still in awe at how slick the marketing is and how sexy that the marketing is making it appear, and especially to young people, to invite external technology into our bodies. What we're not being told, what we are not being told is the very high cost of replacing our biology with that technology. That cost, the bottom line, is that we lose access to our humanness. We lose access to the very things that I just mentioned, the ability to love and forgive, to experience empathy, sympathy, compassion. These are the trade-offs that we're being asked to make in exchange for efficiency and for speed in the way that we solve our problems, all because of the technology now that is being developed. I'll tell you, it's happening faster than we can document it in the textbooks in the classrooms. You know, I know many of you know that I worked in the corporations from late 1970s into the mid 90s as a problem solver for Fortune 500 companies. I was also a senior computer systems designer during the Cold War years for a company in the defense industry. At that time, it was called Martin Marietta. Today, we know it as Lockheed Martin. There's a whole story about how I ended up there. It's not where I began. It's where I was moved because of my expertise. The reason I'm saying this is because I had the opportunity to see behind the scenes the technology then. And what I will tell you is that AI is not new. They were developing technology back in the 80s. And what we see now that we think is so advanced, it's the tip of the iceberg of what actually exists behind the scenes that you're going to see brought forward. And you're going to be asked to make decisions about whether or not you incorporate this technology into your life and into your body. Purpose of this book, I want to give you the reasons to make healthy choices, the tools, I should say, to make those healthy choices, and the reasons to think about yourself, perhaps in a way that you never have thought about yourself before. The new discoveries, the new science, it's out there. Peer-reviewed papers are telling us, man, they're telling us we are not what we have been told, and we're so much more than we've been led to believe. The problem is those discoveries are not showing up in classrooms and textbooks in biology. What's happened within the last few years, scientists have begun to look at the human body not from a biological perspective, but from an IT perspective, information technology. They're looking at cells literally as circuits with all the components that circuits have: transistors, resistors, capacitors, the ability to transduce light. We have photon receptors, photon emitters. We pull that light in from the world around us. Well, light is information. We're pulling in information and we emit light. We're emitting information in levels that we've never thought of before. Just for example, there was a journal I saw recently on advanced computing technology. And what this journal actually said is that human DNA is a fractal antenna. What does that mean? We all know an antenna picks up a signal. Fractal antennas pick up many signals across many bandwidths of information, a broad spectrum of information. And we are doing this all the time. But this isn't published in the biology text. It's in these obscure, technical, very specific technical journals. Very few people get to see them. So in the new book, I am talking about the movement, the concerted effort to replace our biology with technology and the momentum that is driving us toward 2030. There's two parallel themes in the book. That's one of the themes. The second theme are the new discoveries that tell us that we are, in many cases, we have the ability to meet and even exceed the capacity of the technology we're being invited to bring into our bodies. When we really embrace the deep truth of what it means to be human, and we see this tremendous potential. And, you know, we know these things anecdotally, things like telepathy, things like intuition. A mother in Brisbane, Australia, knows that her son in the battlefield of Afghanistan is in trouble, and she knows it before his commanding officer even knows anything has happened. And you say, well, how is that possible? It's through intuition. Okay, so what is intuition? Well, what we now know is that when a mother conceives a child in the womb of her body, the DNA from that child is not limited to the womb, that it actually circulates through her body, and it will lodge in organs and tissues of her body, specifically in the liver. So the mother will have her child's DNA in her liver through her lifetime. And now that we know that DNA is a fractal antenna, there is a communication between the mother, the DNA of her offspring she has in her body, and her kids, wherever they are in the world, no matter how old they are. And this is helping science to understand the mechanism that we know as intuition, so that we can do the things that help us to have deeper intuition. We can do more of those things. The things that don't work, we don't have to put our energy into it. But this is just one example, one small example of the kinds of internal technology that is available to us that we stand to lose as we replace our natural biology with synthetics, with artificial technology. And this is what the techies aren't telling you. They're telling you that you will live in a safer world, that your life will be much easier, and they've got marketing pieces on YouTube, make it look really easy, really sexy to have all this technology inside of your bodies. What they're not telling you is the very high cost. You relinquish your humanness. The next level of this is the best minds of our time are telling us that we are on a dangerous trajectory of embracing this technology inside of our bodies, not in the world around us, but replacing our natural biology with the technology. And if we don't change our thinking, and if we don't change that trajectory, by the year 2030, we will most probably be the last generation of what are called pure humans that this world, perhaps all worlds, will ever know. If we're the only place, if Earth is the only place that humans reside, by the year 2030, most humans will be some form of hybrid of some kind of external technology that is inside their bodies, meshing with their biology. Now, I want to tell you, I was at a number of conferences actually recently, and there are scientists there, evolutionary biologists, good men, good women, they're good people. And what they say to me, Greg, isn't this natural? Isn't this just the natural evolution, the next step in the evolution of humankind to merge biology with silicon, with technology, with computer chips? And my answer to them is absolutely no. Absolutely no. It is a form of evolution. It is not a natural evolution. It is a forced evolution. And once again, the very high price of that evolution is once we give our humanness away. It's not like a little dial where you could say, oh, we'll try it for a year, and if it doesn't work, we'll go back. You can't do that, because once you incorporate the technology into your body, what happens is your body morphs and adapts to that technology, and it relinquishes abilities. There's something in biology called use it or lose it. If we don't use the neurons in our brain, if we don't use our immune system, if we don't use our reproductive systems, if we don't use the cognitive abilities, what happens is the body believes that it's no longer necessary to furnish those systems, and they begin to atrophy. And over a period of time, we lose those abilities. And once they're gone, you can't go back. This is how you lose a species. It's exactly how you lose a species. Sounds like science fiction. It's right on us right now. This isn't something that is going to happen, 20 years, 50 years down the road. We're in it. We're in this process. Because we're in it, the only way out of it is to go through it. My goal is to give you the tools, to give you the keys, to help you first understand the precious gifts that were given to you as a human body, whether you choose to use all of them or not. I think you'd at least like to know they're available to you. Number one. Number two, to help you recognize the marketing, how it is being used. I have a chapter in the book that is showing 3 marketing techniques that are being used. They're being used in the open, but they're being used covertly as well. How to recognize when you're being indoctrinated into a belief system that's not good for you. And it wouldn't do any good to show you those if there wasn't a remedy. So I'm sharing with you the remedies. How do you transcend? How do you recognize and become more than those technologies and the techniques that you're being asked to embrace, to give up so much of your humanness? So the book covers a lot of ground. I'm excited to share it. My hope is at the very least that you, when you finish this book, you have a deeper appreciation for what it means to be human in the time when our humanness is being denigrated in mainstream media and classrooms and textbooks, number one. But number two, my hope, I'm just pushing maybe a little bit more than even appreciation. My hope is that you have a deep sense of pride for the humanness that you carry and the potential, the love, the forgiveness, the imagination, the creativity, our ability for empathy and sympathy and compassion that we sometimes take for granted every day. These are the qualities that set us apart from all other forms of life. I think that we are worth preserving. I think our humanness is worth preserving. If you'd like to know more about this, and if you're interested in a lot of the studies and some of the things that have happened even since I wrote the book, you write the book, you send it off to the publisher, it gets printed, but the world keeps moving and new information becomes available that was not available when I was writing the book. That's why I'm offering this webinar. I got to tell you, the webinar is going to be pretty cool. I'm going to be in a special studio in Charleston, South Carolina. I am going to be standing there in front of a number of massive teletrons where I get to see you, I get to see your face and interact with you, and you get to interact with me. It's more than a Zoom, and I want you to know that. This is a very sophisticated technology that allows me to connect and communicate with you on a deeper level. Absolutely no cost except the price of a book. The only way to get into that webinar, whoever buys the book has access to that webinar. If you would like to know more about that, click on the link that is accompanying this conversation that I'm having with you right now. I know your time is valuable. I want to thank you for just taking a little bit of your day, sharing a little bit of your day with me today. And I'm going to invite you to think about your humanness and what it means to be pure human. I hope you enjoy reading this book as much as I enjoyed writing this book. I took 7 months out of my life to sit in the office and write this. I usually write the books on airplanes and airports and hotels. This was so important. I said, I'm going to take the time to get the wording just right. And I really want to give a shout out to Hay House for a number of reasons. Number one, Hay House gave me tremendous flexibility and freedom to say what I wanted to say in this book. Very little editing went into this book in terms of the ideas and the concepts. I want to thank Hay House for their love and support and helping me to share this with you so that you can be the best version of yourself, and together we can create the best world possible. Check out the link. Hope to see you at the webinar. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you so much.